Just now I am suffering. So here's a little update. Quite a few times people ask me, do I still have sciatica? Does it cause pain down my leg? And generally for the last year, absolutely fine, not a problem. This year I started doing squats and deadlifts again and caused a little bit of back pain, but it was fine. And then I did some gardening. Well, when I say gardening, I mean I was picking up 25 kilogram bags of stones, picking up, moving, twisting, grab another one, up on the shoulder, dumping, shoveling, into bags. That completely destroyed my back, and very much all the muscle area there was a very, very tender. So that gave me a very sore back for a couple of months. But then I got fine again, and I can tell the difference between sciatica pain and just muscle pain, and maybe a bit of joint pain, and whether it goes all the way down my leg and all that kind of stuff. However, I recently got a spinning bike to try and lose some of this chunk, some of these bristicles that have grown, which can kind of move. And spinning, been great. Loads of sweat, fantastic. Heart rate up, 170 within 10 minutes, no problem. But I'm suffering seriously just now, and it's a thing called Piriformis syndrome, some of which I've had before in the past, and some of which I'm very nervous about if it gets any worse. Piriformis is a muscle that goes from here across to here in your butt, and it's quite deep within your butt muscles. That is not one that you can easily massage, and it's one that passes over the sciatic nerve coming out your spine, going down your leg, down to your foot. And it seems like from my intensive spinning, I've inflamed my piriformis muscle and it's irritating the nerve. So all day today, while I was out working, I was like standing around with a camera bag on my back, just kind of going, yeah, feeling great, how are you doing? And there's a pain right in there, radiating down, sometimes getting pins and needles all the way down to the leg, or it feels like, you know, if you sit on the toilet for too long and your leg goes dead and then you get pins and needles, that's what's happening in one leg. And I can specifically feel one butt cheek, one piriformis. I can feel it's right there is where it is. But it's one of those things where don't do foam rolling, because that's effectively just rubbing an irritated muscle, an inflamed muscle against an irritated nerve, and you're just grinding it in, hoping that that's going to make it better. No, I did that the other day, couldn't walk the next day, lots of pain. So, talked to my doctor. I said, look, do you have any anti-inflammatories or any muscle relaxants at all? He's like, look, dude, just go, like, all the stuff that the doctors have given me in the past are like, all of them are highly addictive and loads of side effects. Just, if you can, go back to paracetamol and ibuprofen. Ibuprofen being an anti-inflammatory, paracetamol just being a painkiller. And they've kind of not worked at all. But bizarrely, I can come in, I can do bench press for ages. I can do shoulder press. So I'm happy, like, ripping away on this. But ask me to touch my toe. Do you want to see my flexibility just now? Okay, flexibility. I did a Pilates class yesterday. They're like, chin down and rotate the spine until you touch your toes. There! That's as far as I can go. No. I'm like, touch your toes. I was like, I'm trying to touch my knee. I was like, never mind the toes, I'm trying to touch the knee. Try to get past. Oh, yikes. Yeah, there's the knee, got it. And they're like, and then get your shoulders and rock them down. I was just like, no, not happening. So anybody that's having piriformis issues, sciatic pain from your piriformis, inflammation or irritation, here's my advice. Finally getting to the point. Chill, just relax. It's constant pain, it's constant ache that you get in your butt down to your foot. It is alleviated in different ways. Some people find walking helps alleviate it. Some people find lying down alleviates it. Some people find sitting. Just now I'm finding sitting in my car is actually okay. But for some other people, sitting just means that the weight is on your butt, pushing against the nerve, and that can actually make it worse. So you've got to figure out which way it is inflaming your nerve. Because the fact is, people's piriformises are in different places. Some people, the piriformis muscle goes, or the sciatic nerve goes through the piriformis. I think it's a fairly rare condition, but it is something that it can happen. Beyond this, there is a cortisol thing, which they can inject into your butt. There's Botox that they can inject into your piriformis, or you can even have surgery to have your piriformis detached. That's mental. Possibly not the best idea. I think it's very rare that they do that anymore. But generally, it's a case of be prepared. This is pain. It's gonna last minimum 2 weeks. But think about 2 weeks and then it should be better. Maybe 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, maybe 6. If you can walk, if you can still do your work, great. Maybe also chill out on the stretching. So a lot of the advice is like do the knee up and across to stretch the piriformis, stretch the other one and across, lying on the ground, or put your foot under your other leg and just like pulling it over, really stretching your piriformis. That is generally good advice when your piriformis isn't irritating the nerve. I suspect, so in my own case, when it's actively painful, stretching doesn't help me. It certainly doesn't have an alleviating effect. It's like, oh, how to cure piriformis syndrome in 5 minutes? Do this stretch. And it's just like, no, still there. So for some people it may work. So in my case, it doesn't. So be prepared. Different people have different reactions to the stretching depending on how it's irritating the actual nerve. But for me, it's a case of, I can do loads of stretching. That's literally just rubbing the muscle against the nerve, irritating it even more. So for me, it's a case of do nothing. Just take painkillers, do other exercises. Fortunately, because it's not a spinal thing, because it's not the disc in my back which is causing the sciatic pain down here, I can happily go get some proper weight on the bar and do, I can do bench press and I can do shoulder press, and I can stretch all this out, tighten the butt cheeks while doing that. Obviously I'll do it with some proper weights later on. But that's not causing any obviously it's causing compression of the spine, but it's not causing any irritation of the sciatic nerve in the spine because the pain is coming from your piriformis. So if it's your first time suffering this, be prepared to try and figure out where it is, massage, foam rolling, avoid stretching, find out if that irritates it. Because it may be the case of, it usually irritates it for a day afterwards. So if you're like, oh, that's a bit sore, I'll do loads of foam rolling, the next day you might be going, oh my goodness, there's not enough painkillers in this whole town to deal with this. And because some painkillers just have no effect on it. But it is a case of, the doctors will advise anti-inflammatories and painkillers for you to just try and deal with the pain until it heals itself. And the good news is, it does. It heals itself over time. But be prepared to try and just not irritate it anymore. So just now for me, when I'm walking, a little bit of a limp, a little bit of I can't really stretch my leg. But what I do find is actually doing weight training. So I'm doing a lot of bench press, a lot of rubber band, like rear, back exercises. Obviously it's just upper body stuff, not doing anything on the legs, is good because there's something about, I think, like your exercise endorphins get kicked out, your natural painkillers are released, and that seems to be making me need less painkillers, not need as many painkillers, so however I want to say it. But yeah, so think about doing other exercises while you're suffering the pain, because those exercises may alleviate the pain coming from your butt. Because there's also the other thing, the gate theory of pain, where if you've got pain down there, if you cause a pain up here, that pain goes to your head first and you feel less of the pain lower down. And so if you're doing chest or shoulders or upper back or abs, then you may find that your body's like, oh, pain, lactic acid, and you start to neglect the pain coming from your piriformis or your sciatic nerve all the way down the leg. So that's just my tips, that's my advice. If any of you got any questions about sciatic pain, I've suffered a lot of it. I can give you my experience with it, and I'll see you in a future video. Thanks for watching. Bye. 10 minutes. and 1 second. Done.